So much of things that we need to see about. Surely I do have to spell them out. Cause you know as well as I do, the only way is put in more effort and less play. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together.
Come, my brother, come, my sister, let us build a nation together. Grenada belongs to all of us, wherever you are. Maybe you're here in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique, or out there in the diaspora. You have a stake in this piece of rock. In other words, not because you're in the diaspora, it means that you are an outsider. No, no, no. You have a stake here, and we must work together to make it a better place. You're not no returning national. You're a national, right? You're no JCB. You're a Grenadian. You're a Caracunian. You're a PT Martinican. You are a part of Grenada. And let us work together to build this place, to make it better for our children and children. That is what we should be striving for and working towards. Because you look at certain races right around the world, and what they do is build a foundation for their children and children. And their children and children should build a foundation for their children and children. So they compound in it, they making it better, they add into it. And then you have generational wealth. You have communities and you know, districts and so on that are better off, because then they can invest back into their community, make the community center a more welcoming place for the children, for the people in that community, having computers, having classes, having functions there, upgrading the playing fields in the community with lights and so on, right? The sidewalks and, you know, the bins and the schools, giving back to the schools. So then you improve your community. Because why? Your father and mother or great grandfather or great grandmother invested, and they put in time and effort, and they made that community better because they invested in you and your children, your generation, and you have to do the same thing. That is why we play this song. Let's come and build. Let's come together and develop our community, our homes. Let us invest in this place, because if the environment is conducive for investment, for development, and so on, you will benefit. So again, let us pull together and build this place we call home. I want to encourage those on Facebook to please share the live. Those on YouTube, do the same thing. Sharing is caring. When you share, you give your friends the opportunity to discover the program, to get to listen or to view. So share. Please share the program. I want to speak for a moment about the government's new trust in education. The government made it very clear they are all about universal education, access to all, because they see education as one of the vehicles to lift our people out of poverty, out of hardship, out of vulnerability, to a place where they become independent and able to take care of themselves, their family, and the community. And ultimately, the country will benefit significantly. So the government decided to introduce universal education. So at the pre-primary school, you have access. There is no need to worry about tuition or that school fee that you had to pay $90, $80, $100. Then you move to primary school, where again, you had to pay every year that fee for your child or children, that school fee. Then you move to the secondary school, and again, you were required to pay the one something for your child to get to that school. And if you don't have it, you couldn't get in. And we also know that at TAMCC, you were required to pay some $810 or so tuition fee every year, right? First year, second year students. So you had to find that money, cost it what it may. But besides that, you had other fees at the schools. So you had games fee, and that might still be there, report book fee, handbook fee, a number of fees, registration fee. So besides just that amount, you had to find 300 and something dollars at the secondary school level to get your child in. So that has been significantly reduced because you no longer have to pay that one something, just a little under $200 or so. You no longer have to pay that. Primary, pre-primary, also you don't have to pay that $90 or that $100 or whatever the amount. Free access. And at CC, you no longer have to pay that 800 and something dollars. So a parent with, let's say, 2 children or 3 children from from pre-primary up to TAMCC, because you want your child to graduate at college level, at least. So you invest that amount of money from primary or pre-primary all the way up to secondary. So they would spend some time at the pre-primary school. I think it's about what? 4 or 5 years? Pre-primary. And then they move to primary. Couple years there again. And then they go on to secondary. So secondary would take them up to about what? 14, 15, 16, around this. So take them up to that. 15, 16 years. So you have to spend a certain amount of money at pre-primary, a certain amount of money at primary, and a certain amount of money at secondary. But over a good 10, 12 years, it might be even more, because your child might be accepted in the school at 3, 4, right? Around this. So So you're looking at 11 years of spending money to get your child to school every year, right? That's significant savings there. And then when they get onto college, because secondary they have to spend every year, college, because you're looking at secondary level, from 1, from 2, from 3, from 4, from 5, you're looking at spending for 5 years straight. You have to spend, you have to pay to get that child back into the school. At a primary level, you'll have to spend for about 3-4 years too, or at least 5, right? Then at college, 2 years. College, 2 years. So you're talking about significant savings. And I am saying all of this and telling you this so you can appreciate what the government has done. The announcement of universal education, free access, where you don't have to find that extra money to get your child to that pre-primary, primary, secondary, or college, right? But there are still NNP supporters who cannot appreciate what the government has actually done, because you hear and you see comments like, I thought they say it's free, because they still have to pay the $30 registration, or the $20 registration, or the $10 registration, or they still have to pay for that uh, stuff that the school has to print, right? Or find money to purchase and then pass it on to the child. So they still cannot satisfy or appreciate. I think the better word here is appreciate this goodness from the NDC administration. Because the NNP supporters, they do not see, well, at least some of them, the majority of them, do not see education as important in the life of their child or children. And in many instances, they have children, plenty children, right? Not 2, not 1. The majority of them, they have plenty. But they cannot appreciate that. It is the same thing when the NDC introduced the free textbook program. They were paying 5, 6, 7, 8, all up to $1,000 for books, all up to $1,000 for books. And all they were required to do when the NDC introduced the free textbook program was to pay $25. And then they turn around and say, I thought you say it's free. And we have to pay $25. So what are we paying $25 for? Sentiments like that. That is what you get from most of the NNP supporters, because they cannot see the bigger picture. They cannot see the savings, because they used to pay this amount or that amount. Now they're not paying anything close to that, but because they're paying a $25 or $30 for things that the school is required to buy or get and so on, they have a problem with that. They have qualms with that. But I am bringing that to you so you can help them to understand that this move by the government is a significant move, a big move. It's a money-saving move for you, because the government is absorbing the cost. I saw a comment where one said, it's a good move, but where would the government find the money to sustain it? They always question this government because they realize this government is making some good moves or big moves or bold moves, right? And I am saying we need to start to appreciate what the government is doing. This government is serious about education because they know that in a household where you have a university graduate, it changes everything. In a household with a college graduate, it changes everything in there. You know, I say to people, if you want to liberate yourself, if you want to become independent, you must take education seriously. And you have a government who is serious about making education accessible and a priority. That is what they have always demonstrated. So the first NDC introduced the free textbook program. What did the NNP do when they came in? They downscaled the program. They were not buying new books or replacing the books. They just downscale it. So instead of you getting 10 books, you were getting 5 and 6. That's what they did. The NNP never saw education as a priority. That is why they were angry. They were blue when the Minister of Education, the Honorable David Andrew, and the government of Grenada announced that all the children who sat the CPEA exam will go on to secondary school. They were blue. They were mad. In fact, I heard one of those NNP apologists call in and say, well, why should you send all of them to secondary school? Yeah. And then when I investigated, I realized that the gentleman did not go on to secondary school. So he wants a lot of people to be in the same boat like him because he came by a particular location and he was blue, angry. Why send all of them to secondary school, and why not give the ranking, and why not say who come first, who come second? And then I asked the lady with him quietly, did this gentleman attend secondary school? And she said no. So you would find that happening. They support the NNP, but they do not have an appreciation for what the NDC is doing to better the lives of our people. So the announcement was a big one, a very important one. Yes, the NNP and all of them, they got all angry. In fact, I heard a certain minister from St. Mark, or member of parliament, not minister, member of parliament from St. Mark, talking about, using words to the effect that she wants to acknowledge and big up this particular student for his or her performance. And then the former Minister of Education used words to the effect, but she can't do it because there is no ranking out and no position and so on published. She wanted to know who came first and who came second and who on the island and which school top it. And this is slavery mentality. This is barbaric. So they are not accepting the change, but change must happen. It's slavery, house slave and field slave and everybody competing, right? What we are saying is all the students are going on to secondary school. They're given a chance to go on to secondary school and perform because there are students who were slow at primary school, and when they go on to secondary school, they top it. They became the brightest student at secondary school, the fastest learner at secondary school. So the government is doing a lot, a lot. They introduced TVET, the technical and vocational aspect of learning. So there are students who are good at science and math and, you know, but there are students who are very good with their hands. They can make stuff. They can create stuff. They can be carpenters. They can be masons. They can be joiners. They can be tailors. They can be seamstress. They can be electricians. They can be plumbers. That is what you want to see at the primary, secondary, and tertiary level, where you can at least get the students who are interested in that to go in that particular area. So this government has reintroduced that in senior primary and secondary school level, or upper primary and secondary school level. That is very important. But the NNP cannot see the bigger picture. And it will take a long, long time for some of them to see it, because they're so accustomed to the same old way of doing things. They can't see the savings realized from free access to education and the tuition fee at TAMCC no longer required, $810. They don't appreciate that at all. In fact, if they were given that $810 and told to go to TAMCC and pay for your child, and then the government takes it back, they would appreciate it more. But what's the difference? I'm telling you, if they were given the $200 or the $125 or the $150 by the government to go and pay at GBSS or PBC or SAS or GSS or the SDA Comprehensive or JW Fletcher Memorial or Westall Secondary or Wesley College or Boca, if they were given that money, they would appreciate it more to take the money, go and pay the school, and the school take the money and give it back to the government who actually gave them the money. That is the situation that we face here. They want it physical, they want it in their hands. So the government announcing tuition is free for TAMCC, right? You have access. All they have to pay is the $30 registration fee and so on, and the $150 IT fee. That's $180. Because before, they had to pay the tuition fee, $810, the registration fee, $30, and the IT fee, $150. Now they remove the $810, but still you have NNP supporters in particular complaining, grinding and groaning. And all you need to do is just read some of the comments, those NNP supporters, and you could see that it will take a long time for NDC to achieve their set goals and objectives. It won't be easy because you're coming up against this big rock, this big wall. Those NNP supporters, they are fixed in their ways. They just can't see it. And mind you, down the road, they would not even remember it. I'm telling you, they would not even remember that it was the NDC who introduced free textbooks, that particular program. It was the NDC who introduced universal education, where all the students from primary school go on to secondary school. It was the NDC who reintroduced the TVET in the upper primary and in the secondary school. It was the NDC who removed all the school fees from pre-primary, primary, secondary, and now college. And the students or parents still getting the back-to-school voucher or vouchers. They still getting the little assistance that they normally get. But after a while, they would forget. They would not remember it, particularly the NNP supporters. Yep. But if every term or every year you give them that money to go and give the school, and the school give it back to the government, they would remember it because they're getting the money in their hand, even if they can't keep it, even if it will only remain with them for a short period of time. So that is what we face. The NDC reintroduced Grenadian history in our schools. The NDC invested a significant amount of money in getting the St. George's Library back, right? So very soon we can see some movements there. It's not yet back to where it's supposed to be, but they have started the process to modernize, to computerize, to bring it to that point where people who don't have access to internet and books and so on can actually go there. And they're also doing the same thing in Grenville, a public library in Grenville, modernized, computerized. But there are people who cannot see that as very important, as very big, because they're all about the tangibles, putting stuff in their hands. But I say to you, it is time to change your mindset. And I want to encourage the government to reintroduce the Center for Popular Education in our communities and make it mandatory that people who cannot read, who cannot write, who cannot reason attend those sessions at the different community centers and schools and playing fields and so on, even if you have to set up tents, because we want our people to become literate, at least basic maths, basic arithmetic, basic English, basic comprehension. You have to be able, as a parent, as a grandparent, as a person, to read, to write, to analyze, to comprehend, to understand. They need to reintroduce that in communities. So when 6 o'clock, you know, you can go to your community center. You could be 60, you could be 70, you could be 50, you could be 40, you could be 30. You can go there and learn to read and learn to write and learn to comprehend, learn to understand, because you can read and not understand what you read. You could call words, but you have to be able to understand what you get from that paragraph you just read. What you understand from that. You call the words out, but you have to understand it. Right? And basic maths, being able to count money, being able to, just add, subtract, divide, basic stuff. But it's important to bring that back. And that's the only way our communities will be totally transformed. Because you could do all what you're doing. Once our people are not educated, are not reasonably educated, basic stuff, then you have a problem. Because if you do the comparison, let's look at Barbados. Their years of investment in education actually paying off. Let's look at Guyana. Their years of investment in education paying off. Let's look at Jamaica. Their years of investment in education paying off. Let's look at Trinidad. And we can go on and on. So the government is now playing catch up, because, these islands, they are way more advanced than Grenada. But we had in Grenada for 20-something years, one government, one party dominating the political landscape in Grenada. And you ask yourself, what have they done in education that you can actually point to, that you can be proud of? You ask yourself that. And I challenge you. I challenge you today as I speak about the savings, as I speak about the gains, the benefits that you're getting as a parent, as a student. Just reflect on the past, the mere fact that the NNP has been there for so long. What have they done to better your standard, your access to education, your ability to read, to write, to reason, to have your kids, your child, your children go on to college and be successful? Because outside here is becoming more and more competitive. Because before, you would have a school leaving degree. You pass school leaving and you can get a work. You were able to get a work at the bank and different places. You were able to even go back and teach. School leaving. Then CXC. And after a while, you having CXC is insignificant in the scheme of things. A-levels. And after a while, you realize you having A-levels, you cannot even put that on your CV. You have to now put a first degree. What degree you have? Yeah. And second degree. And third, if you can. So it's becoming more and more competitive. And you might know the work, but that company will hire a person over you who may not know the actual work, right? But they have their degree, they have their qualification, and they're paid more than you, and you have to show them the work. That happens from time to time. You have to show them the work. Yep. How it's done in reality. So it is important to get your child or children up to the level of college, right? And the government is making that more accessible. They have done a lot in education for the last 12 months. And our people need to start to appreciate what the government is doing in education. We are too negative as people. You spend a lot of time on negativity. So you cannot see the good. Or even if you've seen the good, you cannot recognize it. Because you're so accustomed looking only for the bad things, right? Which is very sad. But I am saying all of this because I want you to be in a better place as a people. That is what real transformation speaks to. The mind, transforming the mind. Because if you are so transformed, let me just check something here. All right, let me just check something. Yes, it seems as though the radio. Let me just check something.
This also goes for every Trinbagonian who going to live in a foreign land. Now is the time to come home and do something instead of staying out there and freezing. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us go hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together.
Right, so we had a little problem there, a little break with the internet, and that's from my end. All right, that's on my end because I realized some friends were saying to me that we were not on the radio a while ago, just for a short moment, right? But you know it goes; those things do happen. All right, so don't forget the the Deacon Mitchell support group. They're having a bingo on Saturday, this Saturday, 2 days from today. Right? Don't forget that. The bingo costs $20. The jackpot is $1,000, 1,000 US. And it is at St. Paul's Church Auditorium, 157 St. Paul's Place, corner of Church Avenue. And for tickets, call Frances 917 282 9405, Estella 917 623 6882, Merrill 914 487 no so 482 1215, Akim 347 925 1625. And you can call the others Jillian, Kenisha, Janice, and Beverly. All right, so it's a long list. So don't forget that bingo, the Deacon Mitchell support group out there in New York. They're having that bingo, and the jackpot is 1,000 US. So please be a part of that. That's Saturday coming, starting at 6 p.m. So the radio is back. And that problem was from my end, right? The internet, we had a drop in the internet here. So I was saying to you, it's the mindset. The mindset has to change. That is where the real transformation will come in. Because if the people, for example, continue to throw their garbage out of the vehicle or dump indiscriminately or put out the garbage the day before the garbage truck pass in that area, then the dog will scatter it and so on and so forth. So the mindset has to change. Because if you educate, if you empower them, then you make them know that when you throw your garbage out of that vehicle, it goes downstream, goes in the river, goes in the sea. You use the river, you use the sea, right? There's life in the sea and in the river. Then you also will tell them if you throw it out, somebody has to pick it up. So your money, your tax dollars have to go towards paying somebody to go and pick up that you threw out, that garbage that you could have placed in a bin. Then we have the three colors, color-coded bins now. It will take some time to educate people on why you have the color-coded bins and what go into them and where it ends up eventually or ultimately. So it's a mindset that has to change. In other words, we are introducing stuff which is great, ideal, but if you have the same set of people, for example, NDC, the administration, the Honorable Andy Williams, and the team, I mean, they have been going about lighting or putting solar lights on bus sheds because normally it's very dark and it's not safe for women and girls and so on in the night. So they started putting lights in those bus sheds. But those barbarians will destroy the lights. And we saw photos of that where they actually destroyed the lights. So it will take a lot to get these people to that place where they understand the reason why the lights are there, the purpose for the lights, and how that can help them, help the community. It's sad, but that is the reality that we face. You could imagine the government removing $810 from what you had to pay for your child to go to TAMCC, the college, and you still have NNP supporters saying, I thought they say it was free and you have to pay $30 to register your child to go in there. Yeah, you still have them saying that. They cannot appreciate good things. And they may never appreciate good things unless the NDC reintroduce the Center for Popular Education, or you could call it whatever name, night school or adult literacy classes, whatever name you want to call it. They have to reintroduce that. Because, for example, you have the Kirani James Boulevard. Clean, nice, pristine. It's wonderful. I see families going there now. But I observe that there are people who are placing their garbage at that particular area there with the hope that a garbage truck will come and pick it up. So they pile all that rubbish there with the hope that the garbage truck will come and pick it up. What if dogs pass before and it mess up the whole area again? We have to inculcate certain things in our people, right? They have grown accustomed to nastiness. That is why, you go by somebody and you tell them, well, you didn't see that day, or clean that done. But they can't see it because it has been there for so long. The stench coming from their room or whatever, or their shoes, or they've grown accustomed to nastiness. It's hard to break that out of them. It's normal for them. It will take some time to get them out of that mindset, and to indoctrinate is easy, but to unlearn is very, very hard. To take out that from them, the bad ways, the bad habits, it will take a long, long time. A very, very long time. It's like you telling a kid something over and over and over again. And then they would still repeat it, and you have to say over and over and over again. So to indoctrinate, it's a bit easy. But to unlearn, to take what they have in their mind out, it's a mammoth task. I tell you this. But it is important to understand and to appreciate what the government is doing, because we are still playing catch up to the other islands, because they have invested so much in education over the many years, and they are reaping the benefits of that today. So we have to learn to appreciate what the government is doing. For the first time, you had students sitting the CPEA exam online. That should have been done years now. There are islands in the Caribbean where the students have been doing that years now. It's like when the developed countries, right, finish with BlackBerry, we started using BlackBerry here in the Caribbean and in Africa. Yeah, they dump it on us, more or less. And that's the situation that we have to confront. We are still way behind in everything. Way behind. Because why? We had a government in place here for 20-something years who are doing everything the same way over and over and over again, expecting a different result. It just can't happen. It can't. So now, transformation, newness is being introduced. The NDC is doing things differently. I had a conversation yesterday with a gentleman who's supposed to be academically inclined, right? And he was saying, well, why the government stop the printing and the printing of this and the printing of that? Why it's online now? Well, I just turned around and I said to him, well, the government is saving a lot of trees, and the trees helping you to breed, right? And feed. The trees are playing an important role in the watershed areas and so on. So you're helping to save the planet. And he started laughing. I said, the developed countries, they don't go with this paper stupidness anymore. You go and you sign online, everything is just, yeah. So it will take a long time, a long time to unlearn these people. And the majority of them, they're NNP supporters. Like it or not, that's the reality. It will take a long time. So just that, the government introducing paperless transaction and, government and other places. Because they've grown accustomed to paper. It's amazing. Nowadays, the littlest child has a tablet. The littlest child has a tablet. Yeah, taking notes and doing everything on the tablet. Yep. You want something, you just go and you just Google it, just search it, and you get it. There's still some people who have phone books in the house, and calendars. You can imagine that. A calendar stick up on a wall on a phone book. What you need that for? Huh? I mean, your great grandparents needed that. But not now. If I want your number, I just go and I just search it. The yellow page, the same thing. Pop. The phone book, just pop up. Get your number. If you want to know the date or whatever, just go online and it's more detailed. You get to know when it's first quarter, full moon, everything. Yeah, you get a whole pile of holidays in all different countries too. Yeah, it's on your phone, it's on your everything, on your device. So we have to get to understand that change is sometimes hard but necessary. And we cannot be stuck in our old ways. You're dealing with some young people in government, young men and women who are tech savvy. And you're dealing with a population, 65% or so is 40 and under. You're dealing with a young population. You're dealing with a group of people who understand the technology. Yep. And their children will be even more advanced and brighter. So we have to get on with that program and respect the fact that this government is introducing what NNP should have introduced years and years and years ago. We are way behind. So don't hate, appreciate. Don't hate, appreciate. Don't hate, but appreciate what the NDC is doing for our people here in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Because, again, it will take a long time to unlearn and to indoctrinate or to relearn or to learn. It will take a long time. I'm telling you. Some people, all they know is to eat a big bowl of rice and chicken and the belly full. And they believe that's healthy. And then down the road, they start suffering from high cholesterol, diabetes, all those different things, high blood sugar, all kind of. And then they start to put a burden on the healthcare system, right? Because they believe at that time eating a whole bowl of rice and stew chicken, sweet chicken, or whatever they call it, is all cool. Come on. We have to learn. We have to teach our people the right way to do things. Your plate needs to be colorful, right? That's healthy. Less oil and less, sugar and sodium or salt and all kind of. I'm saying all of this to say it requires all hands on deck. It's not easy. It will take some time, but it requires all hands on deck. That approach to really get genuine transformation, because it starts in the mind. And mind you, may I add here, when our Grenadian brothers and sisters leave Grenada and go to Canada, they know they cannot spit in the streets. They know they cannot urinate on the side of the road. They know they can't throw nothing on the ground. And they adapt. They adapt quickly. They adapt quickly to that. They fit in within no time. Yeah, let them leave here and go to Canada. Within no time. But in Grenada, they believe it's all cool to litter, to spit all around the place. Could you imagine you having something to drink? I remember we were by the bar having something to drink, and some old jagabat come around and just start to hawk and spit. You feel upset. They're ruthless. And mind you, they're academic. They went to school and they spitting right in front of you. But they're accustomed doing that. Yeah. You having something to eat and you see some individual urinating, woman as well as man. Yeah. Right by the side of the road or next to you or something. It's amazing. But let them go. In Canada, they get in a bottle and they're using it. They're walking with a pail on their head. Yeah, because they know if they do that, they'll be charged. There's consequences, there are penalties for those things. And it's enforced. It's enforced. But I'm saying it requires a lot to change the mindset of our people. You use something and you just throw it out, and you throw it so and you throw it so. You don't care. Yeah, you don't. And that's a sickening part of all of this. But you would not get the NNP and the podcasts and the talk radio programs and so on trying to educate their supporters on doing the thing the right way. No. Nope. They're all about tear down. They're all about seeing the back of this administration. But we want good for you. We want our communities to be transformed in such a way that we all can benefit. That's where true benefit comes from. We're too accustomed to go in some minister office and beg for $40 to buy a gas or beg for something. Let's build our community. Let's develop our community. And the ripple effect of that would be you, your house, your family, and everybody. They'll be better off. You will become more independent, less dependent on some minister or somebody to beg. Right? We could do more. We could do better as a community, as a society. We have it in us. But again, I come back to don't hate, appreciate. And the most difficult thing is to unlearn and to then inculcate, indoctrinate, put things in. All right? Yeah, putting in is easy. Just like you cleaning something, cupboard, cabinet, closet, whatever. It's easy to just put in. But to clean it, you got to sweep the four corners. You have to sanitize. You have to disinfect. You have a whole pile of things. And you may even need to repaint, and that's the hard part. But to put in, anybody could just put in, chuck in and chuck so and chuck so. So it will take some time. It will take some time to get our people to stop hating and start appreciating. Because this government is introducing a lot of new things, a lot of innovative stuff. Remember, I always used to speak about creativity, ingenuity, right? You have to innovate. You have to create. We are in an ever-changing world. You have to update. You can't remain the same way. Yesterday, I observed my daughter. So my mother had her phone, and her daughter sent some stuff on WhatsApp. And my daughter was able to navigate that easily. The WhatsApp and the YouTube and the TikTok and the Instagram at age 5. Just imagine for a moment at age 5, she can navigate and get her stuff. Just think about it the next 5-6 years down the road. You have to start thinking in that realm, right? Let's look down the road. It's not easy, and it's not going to be easy, but it's an ever-changing world. You have to get on with the program. I don't know when I watch TV. I don't know when last I actually look at the TV, the television, or some news thing or something. I just pick up my phone. Just pick up my phone and I'm cool. Just pick up. Once I pick up my phone, I am good to go. I could search easily on the phone. 1, 2, 3. Easy like 1, 2, 3. I can get the news, GBN, MTV, Fox, CNN, any one of them, anywhere around the world. And the young people don't have the kind of, well, concentration time or time to sit and look at news for an hour or follow a program for an entire hour unless they're extremely interested. Young people don't have that time. 6 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. That is what they have the time for. And they get more out of that because it's the summary of. Right? So again, we have to get on with the program and understand we are consuming people when it comes to information. But, it has to be packaged differently. Things are being done differently. I remember a good partner saying, well, why is it that the Prime Minister had an address on social media and not on radio and TV? Or why did the Prime Minister publish? Why did they publish that address to the nation on social media and not on radio and TV? Live. Right? Because after it went on radio and after it went on TV. But come on, nearly everybody in Grenada exists on social media. And you may have 2 or 3 devices in your possession. Yeah, 2 or 3 device in your possession. A phone, some a tablet, sometimes 2 phones with data, with internet, with. Yeah. It's what it is. You cannot run away from that reality. So people get information differently, but predominantly so on social media, on the internet. So we have to get on with the program. Things will change, even if you don't like it. It will. Before you had to wait for 7 o'clock news or 7:30 news to hear what happened during the day, because you had those reporters with their big old cameras going around the place trying to, you know, make stories and so on. But now, when you listen to GBN or MTV, it's what you already know, what you already saw on social media. You already get the thing already. It's stale. I remember when I started off with my studio, I had a big console here, a big old thing, and all this wire all around the place, and two computers, one left, one right, and all kind of stupidness. But now, if you come here, you don't even recognize it's a studio, small console, modern, Bluetooth. You're able to interface and interact, and one computer, two mics, two cameras. They're small, you can't even see them on this big old junky, chunky thing. And if I want, I just take my phone and I do the program with my phone, just like that. And you get the same effect or even better with my phone. Just plug it on and I don't need the camera anymore. And then if I don't want this mic in front of me, just use this mic, a little mic like this, pin it on, and I'm good to go, right? Just pin on, clip, tap, and you get the same quality, same vibes out of it. Yeah, that is what this thing has become. So you there, and you want to have a conversation on your phone, an interview on some program, you just plug the thing on and you look at mic and you speaking from your mic. Normal quality better. That is where we are at. That is where we are at. Before time you had the machine with all kind of plug and plug. You just charge that up and you're good to go. Yeah, you're good to go. That's it. Before time you had this headpiece. This headpiece here. You had this headpiece with all kind of wire and you're plugging on Bluetooth. You don't need no wire again. I just put it in here over my head, and I'm good to go. You don't need that. You don't need that. You don't need that. Just connect and I hear everything from there. Bluetooth. Yeah, everything within no time. I don't need that. This thing in my ears, right? So I am saying, get on with the program. It's different. It's really different. You have smart watches now. Tells you the amount of steps you made. I have one somewhere around there. How much steps you made, your cholesterol level, your pressure level, your everything. Tells you time. It reminds you of this. You take phone calls from there. Everything. Yeah. Get on with the program. We are still stuck, and it will take some time to get us to that place, because you're dealing with 60 something percent of the population who understand what I am saying, who appreciate what I am telling them. That is what you're dealing with. That is why those NNP programs are not able to get that kind of viewership and listenership. It just can't be vast. It can't be big. There's no breakthrough for them, because they're still stuck in the past. They're communicating in black and white, analog. They're just like the leader cussing for paper, for printout in the parliament. They're just like their leader, cussing. We ain't get no copy and no paper, and then print it out and then dotishness. You see? Follow the leader. And they stuck. But I'm saying, do not hate, appreciate. The government is doing a lot for our people. They're transforming education. They're granting and giving access to all of our people to go all the way up to college. They have introduced a number of new initiatives. We have to appreciate it and be grateful and be thankful. I want to wish you all the best. Have an enjoyable Thursday. I will be back with you tonight in the hub starting at 8 in the PM. Take good care and bye for now.